Bienvenue à Talking Tech, our new web series where we talk with Hillsborough teachers about their experience with virtual teaching and learning. I'm Tom McDonald, the Technology Integration Coordinator.
And I am Mary Ellen Wilson. I am a tech coach at Hillsborough Middle School and Auten Road. And today we are talking tech with Ariel Alchek. Bonjour, Ariel.
Bonjour. So I'm Ariel Alchek, and I teach French at ARIS. I teach two grades, 5th and 6th grades. So I have 2 grade levels of novice learners of French.
Great. And if you could please just talk to us a little bit about the success that you have been having using live Nearpod sessions during your Google Meets with your students.
Yes. So what I really was trying to recreate is the feel of having a classroom environment where we could work together as a group. And I was really missing the interactive format that I usually have in my class. I teach language, so there's a lot of back and forth going on. And I was also missing simple things like walking around and being able to see my students' work. So it's with that intent in mind that I wanted to use Nearpod. And to create that group feeling, I decided to go with the live lesson format that you have available on Nearpod. So just to give you a quick introduction of what my lesson on Nearpod was about, it was a lesson for 6th grade. It was about the weather, so French weather. And there were 2 distinct elements in my lesson. There was vocabulary-based teaching. And there was also the idea of teaching the concept of understanding temperatures in Celsius, because of how they are reported in France. And I wanted my students to be able to understand the various ranges of temperature in Celsius, but also being able to compare them with temperatures in Fahrenheit. So that was the 2 major learning components of my lesson. So my lesson on the weather is right here on the screen. I hope you can see it. And I started with a quick review of what the important vocabulary expressions were about the weather in French. And then when we reviewed together, I started with my activities. You can see first in terms of what class size I had. I had 27 students here in this class. And for my 27 students that I had, I picked 4 different kinds of activities. So the great thing about Nearpod is that it's a very versatile app where you have many activities that are available, and you can really tailor your lesson to the needs of your students and your learning objectives. In this specific situation, I picked 4, and I started with drawing activity. So here I have the statement, it's sunny outside, il y a du soleil. We just reviewed that. And I asked them to draw or find a picture that matches that statement. So you can see here that my goal is achieved because I really wanted to create a feel of being able to work as a group and being able to see their work. So I can see it all here. But there's something more to that, is that not only I was able to see their work, but there was a lot of constructive learning that was going on at the same time, as students were not only doing something, they were also modeling for each other and learning from each other. So I was able to see their work, but they were also able to see each other's work. And that was also an extra feature that was, I thought, really useful for what I was trying to accomplish. Then for the next kind of question that I had, I'm going to try to jump to another slide. For the second activity that I had, that was an activity with increased difficulty. It was not about understanding an expression. It was about language production, when they had to write or type the information. So I would show them a picture, we're writing what it was. So here you see the answers. For the third activity, I focused on the temperature. So it was more about teaching a concept of temperatures in Celsius. And for that, I thought that the poll question was ideal. Before I go to the poll question, you can see that I was reviewing the information quickly again. So there was a quick review. And then I went to my first question, which was a poll question. So the poll question was ideal because here I wanted to gauge their understanding of temperatures in Celsius. So I gave them a random temperature, 35 degrees Celsius, 35 degrees Celsius, and they had to assess if it was warm, cold, show me what if they were able to judge that, to gauge that. So here you can see the answers of the students, and you can see that most of them look like picked, option A. Another great advantage is that I can give them immediate feedback on the answer. The next slide give them the answer. The final activity I had for this lesson was a matching pair activity. You can really use it for multiple purposes. And for me, what I really wanted to do was to assess their understanding of specific terms that I used during the unit, but I didn't teach directly. So that enabled me, here's my pair, different expressions that were very particular that I want to make sure they understood. For example, simple two expressions that are similar but not exactly the same, weather forecasts and what's the weather. So that I was able to assess with a quick matching pair activity. So that was it for my lesson. I used 4, but there are many other activities that I invite you to discover and try with your students because, as I said, it's very versatile. But I want to mention during this time of distance learning the option of also doing a student-paced lesson. So if some of your students could not attend your live lesson, you can always share it with them and they can complete it at their own pace as a student-paced lesson. They won't be together, but you can still track the work they did.
This is great. It seems like you were able to put a lot of different interactive Nearpod activities into one lesson. So the fact that you've done so many is fantastic, but my question now is, what's next with Nearpod for you?
So what's next for me, I think, is more focusing next time on the audio part of a lesson. As a word language teacher, sound and for pronunciation is essential. I teach also a group of young children of 5th and 6th grade where it's an optimal time for acquiring authentic pronunciation. So the audio piece is really important. The great thing is that it seems like between the time I did this lesson about a week or 10 days ago and today, there's the ability to include an audio feature. So what I plan on using next time is being able to integrate the audio feature, and that's the end of my presentation on Nearpod. I hope that you'll try this lesson as well, and I hope it will be as useful to you as it was for me.
Well, Ariel, I just want to say thank you and merci for talking tech with us today.
Thank you very much. Au revoir.